1998 Lexus ES300 water pump timing chain. So first, I just went ahead and loosened this 10mm bolt just so I could lift up this reservoir and get it out of the way. I then disconnected these ground cables from each other because I will be removing this plate here. So I just went ahead and disconnected them so they could be out of the way. So next step is go ahead and remove this dog bone motor mount over here. So I've just removed this 14 right here. So just go ahead and push in a little bit because that's kind of just tied up in there. So I just push the motor mount a little bit to the back and you can just go ahead and pull that out. Perfect. All right, now that that is done, you go ahead and pull that up out of there, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just loosen up these two 14s right there instead of removing it from here. I remove it as one whole assembly. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. All right, well, now with those bolts loose, these are very tight, I think. So make them with a regular ratchet or a breaker bar. Once those are out, this entire plate should come up. And I am lying because this goes with that. So what I'm going to do is actually remove it from here and here as well. See how tight these are. Nope, that's going to be a 13. All right. All right, so these are 12s. So just go ahead and zip those out. Make sure you don't lose those bolts. Make sure you know where they go to. All right, so now after removing those two bolts, I left this bolt here for the ground. So pull that out of there, and this entire thing will come up. And you can actually remove this bottom piece as well, because that is just kind of like a spacer. So it's kind of hard to do one hand, but here you go. So you just go ahead and remove that, and you get a bunch of space. Go ahead and put that off to the side. We're gonna have to remove this tire, so if you want to go ahead and start putting your car up on the jack, go ahead and do it. Just make sure you break those bolts loose if you don't have an impact. But yeah, so the next thing that we can do up here is actually start removing these 10s here that go up around, and we can go ahead and expose this this timing belt from the top up here. So go ahead and do that. Right here I have this thing is broken. I'm presuming that it's like a big square here that kind of covers it, but mine is all broken. So to me, I guess makes it a little easier to just kind of put like maybe like a bungee cord here and just kind of tie it up around the intake so it could just hold out of our way. But you can see we have one bolt here, one bolt here, one bolt here. There is another one down there. You have this back one here. Now with that wire loom out of the way, go ahead and start removing these 10s. All right, so once you remove all 5 bolts, they do look like this. Once you remove all 5 bolts, they're 10mm. You go ahead and peel back this cover, and I think it's supposed to be 6. I think there's one more right here. So run back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back here, and I believe that is, yes it is, it's just filled with gunk. Number 6. All right, so the cover is out. Double check your seal. As you can see, mine is kind of ripped right here, so let's see what we can do about that. But yeah, so this comes out pretty easily with both hands. What I did was push it more towards the back while also pushing it up, just so it could go around this power steering hose. But go ahead and put that off to the side. I've already removed the wheel as well. but we still have work to do up here. So we're gonna go ahead and finish up. So what I wanna do up here before we go down is remove the belt for the alternator. This bracket here has to come out. We gotta remove that bolt, and then there's a bolt down there. So you could loosen it from here, not remove this entire bolt. Loosen this bolt up here, and as you can see, it's forked, so it slides out. All you gotta do is loosen it. All right, so if you loosen this bolt, the side one, and you start unscrewing this top one, this thing will start to slowly drop. As you can see, this belt has gotten much loose. Let's see if I can remove it from the crank. I can't just yet. So what we're gonna do is keep going. Cool. Remove that. Bottom side. So bottom side, what we're gonna do is remove this cover to expose the crank. So it looks like it's being held by 2 8s. Let's go ahead and remove that. All right, go ahead and zip those out. Remove these 8. Pull the cover. You can see we have an oil leak somewhere. All right, so after you remove this panel here, we want to remove the power steering belt. In order to do that, you loosen up this bolt up here with this nut. You loosen this nut, and then you start loosening this is the adjuster. So once you have this loosened and you start loosening this up, it should start to slide up just how it did there. If it doesn't, you could pull on the actual belt, and this should move up. So once you have that loose, go ahead and remove that second belt. We're ready to move on to the next step. So since we do have the cover removed at the top, we could go ahead and set this to time. So let's go ahead and grab the correct socket. Let's go ahead and grab a 1/2-inch breaker bar or a 1/2-inch ratchet, and let's go ahead and start putting everything together. All right, let me show you guys what I did. So I grabbed a pink marker, making it more easy to tell where my mark is. My mark is right there. And for this back one, you use this kind of guide here to mark it. Okay, so what I did was I put a 22mm socket on the crank. I used my 1/2-inch ratchet and I turned it clockwise until all the lines are marked, aligned. So as you can see, this is lined up, and if you were to look down here, there's actually markings here that say 15, 10, 5, 0, and that is the timing mark, and it lines up perfectly with the 5 right now. So I'm thinking that's where it has to go. That's where we're gonna leave it at right now. This thing is completely marked already where it has to be. Yeah, okay. So in order to go ahead and remove this bracket, you remove all the bolts, but you can't remove it until you actually remove the lower cover. So with that same 22mm, go ahead and put that on a impact and impact away. All right, pretty simple. Just impacted the crankshaft pulley away. Then I just put that back on just so I can make sure that everything is lined up properly. The next step that I did was I actually removed this lower cover. So as you can see, you have a bolt right at the bottom, one kind of recessed in this area over here, one in the middle, which I believe is also shared with the top one, and then you have one over here to the left top corner. So you can just go ahead and remove those 10mm, and then you'll go ahead and remove that lower plate cover. So now we are ready to actually remove the actual belt. In order to remove the belt, we have to go ahead and release tension off this tensioner, and then we'll be able to go ahead and remove it. During this time, you do not want to move this bolt at all, you want to make sure both your camshaft pulleys do not move. Everything has to stay the way it is. All right, we have to see where it's leaking from as well. All right, so what I did was remove the nut from here, and I was able to remove the bracket. Like I said, it's forked. You don't got to remove this bolt for this alternator here. All right, so once you do that, I remove this bolt that goes up here. The bolt that's down here won't come out all the way. It's gonna hit the frame. That's fine. There's also another stud right under here that once I remove, I'll go ahead and show. But once all of those are removed and loosened, you could go ahead and just wiggle this forward. And it's supposed to come right on off. With that lower timing belt shield removed, cover removed, you could actually go ahead and remove that bracket we were talking about earlier. So this goes over the water pump. So we'll just go ahead and slide it off. Like I said, this bolt stays in it. You could actually remove it, but you won't be able to install it after the fact. So just keep it in there and slide it off of those studs. You don't have to remove them. Remove the actual tensioner to remove the tension, and then we'll go ahead and remove the actual belt. So if you have the instructions here, as you can see, you want to have the mark at the top, the mark at the back, and then you want to have this mark all lined up, which mine is right there, right in the spot where it says it's supposed to be at. So looks like we're good. All right, so I removed the two 12mm bolts that hold the tensioner in. So now this thing is loose. Now that it's not under tension, so it's loose now, so that's ready to come out. Before I do that, I wanted to unpackage this real quick. So I just got this kit online. It's an ASIN kit. So ASIN. So I got the ASIN water pump. I got a brand new tensioner, the tensioner pulley, and idler pulley, and of course the belt. So now what we want to go ahead and do is, now that we know what we're going to go ahead and switch out, let's go ahead and go back to the car. Let's go ahead and remove that actual belt. So what you want to do is remove it from the bottom first, and then just go ahead and work your way counterclockwise. Alrighty, now that this belt is out, you go ahead and give it an inspection. And as you can see, if it wasn't for this water pump giving out, this belt was going to give out. So that's good. We're actually going to replace this. Let's get it. So remember, you don't want your cam or your crankshaft to move. Make sure that doesn't move at all. What we're going to go ahead and remove right now is going to be that idler pulley. So for that idler pulley, just go ahead and get the correct socket and go ahead and loosen that up. All right, so I have both of those out. So this is the tensioner pulley. As you can see, this thing is being burnt. That's probably from the belt. So I removed that with a T55 right here. T55 right here. And then this is the idler pulley. That one I removed with a 14mm, and that comes right on out. So with that being put out, now we could go ahead and get to this water pump. This water pump does have a little lip that goes behind this cover, but don't worry about that. We'll go ahead and loosen up this 10mm right here, and that should give us just enough play to go ahead and remove it out. I'm also going to remove that 10mm there just for good measure. It has a couple 10mm going all the way around. Go ahead and remove those. All right, so I've just cracked the seal on it right now, so it's just gonna leak down. If you want to put a bucket, that would be the preferred thing to do. I just didn't prepare for it, but okay. So you go ahead and remove 4 bolts, two nuts, and then you go ahead and just grab it, pry up. As you can see, it'll go ahead and start leaking out. So preferred method is actually you drain the radiator, as this being the lowest point, I believe. It's just gonna, you know, drip out. But if you were to drain the radiator, it'd be way less mess. I just did it down and dirty, so here we are. Do that. All right, so we got the water pump out. So you can see what the hell this is here. Make sure you clean everything up. It's just like crud. So what I ended up doing was I did remove the 2 studs. It ended up being an E8. Remove the studs, and then in order to get the water pump lip out from back there, I just used a pry bar right here, pried on it, not too hard. At the same time, I am pulling up at an angle, and that's exactly how we're going to install it. We're going to install it kind of in at an angle while kind of prying that away. So let's go ahead and clean up the surface area, the mating area, and we'll go ahead and go back to installing everything back. One very important information. So on the tensioner, this 55 torque socket, it does have a washer out the back. Do not lose that washer. It is very, very crucial. All right, go for it. See if this thing blows up or not. Everything was aligned properly, running smoothly. Perfect.